Moved and seconded, in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we'll adopt those minutes. Real quick mayor's report, we had a nice Monmouth Engaged event, what, 30, 40 people maybe? And we got additional input on where people wanted to head with that process. And do we have a sense of what came out, bubbling out the backside as a number one item yet, or?
I think the number one was the restaurants and retail. But I think the key thing that came out of there was we had a really good function. People came and people signed up for the committees.
Right.
I mean, you out of the gate could actually appoint a committee without even doing an advertisement. There was that many. So you guys actually see the plan, should be at the next meeting, and work out kind of details with the consultant, and they'll map out a structure. There's a couple ways you could, obviously different ways you can approach this, but we're going to propose something, you guys can chew on that.
And then the only other one you all were mostly, if not completely, I guess everybody was there, was the staff picnic last night, which is a nice annual event and a chance to sit down with the folks who do all the hard work that makes this place run. So I always appreciate that event. And that's it for me. The sole council rep report we have tonight is Councilor Guthrie and the Library Board.
The library had an anniversary celebration this past Saturday. I wasn't able to attend because my folks were in town, but it was, what I understand, a very fun event. And I suppose no meeting because of the celebration for this month, so nothing to report in terms of the meeting, but I would like to remind people something my parents took use of today. The A.C. Gilbert's Children's Museum has donated a pass that anybody with a Monmouth library card, a Monmouth resident, could go in and check that thing out, and you can get 5 people into the museum totally free. So fantastic. It's great of A.C. Gilbert's to donate that, and it's a fun little thing going on over in Salem that anybody can take advantage of at no cost.
Very good. Okay. Any community announcements tonight? And hearing none, Mr. Manager, what do you got?
Yep. First item, the senior center. We needed $35,000 to get the project completed, and we got the last grant for $90,000.
Oh,
so we're in business now. So now it's actually it's kind of funny watching. Mark Fancy, he's going, I've never built anything before, and so now he's like, how do I do documents? And so instead of being excited, he's already like going down the road to the next piece, what he has to get done and everything. But yeah, so we'll be in business. So that what they've got some general ideas what to do with the extra money. They've had some possibly doing expanded storage, maybe making a little patio area.
Well, there's that patio area facing out on the street.
Yeah, onto clay at one point. So
Right.
I'm thinking they can maybe get that reintegrated, maybe look at equipment inside, a
Right.
couple different things. But so they'll come up with the plans. So it'll take a little bit of time to get us through, plans and final documents. But maybe in a few months we'll be building.
Cool.
Yeah, super. It's a big deal. The bond refunding process, not refinance as you might have thought it was. We're getting the final documents done on that. It's had a couple of interesting twists. One, typically you go through a federal bond bank essentially. It closed because it had too much activity. So now we're actually on kind of open market essentially. And so it's an interesting process that we'll get our prices. They'll say, yeah, go. Then they have to go out and then come back again and see if anybody can actually buy them for what we thought we could. And so there's going to be 2 loops and it'll move pretty fast. But we got another little twist in there. And then another one, the states decided that some communities don't understand how to do this, so they have to make sure that you're okay when you do these. So now we actually have to pay an advisor to tell us that it's okay. And so it's another step in the process that we get to do in document.
So once we show them we know what we're doing, do we have to do this next time?
Oh, it's permanent. Just any time you do something, you have to have somebody else write off on it.
Is it cities of a certain size? Or
Everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. That's just
And what is that advisor's fee?
$5,000. Yeah, to tell us something we already know. Yeah, so we'll get that. So getting steps up. Pricing's actually next week, so next week is when we'll actually know where we are. We had a rating call with Standard & Poor to update information to see where we are. The final result of that is we're still A+, which we were before. And as kind of some folks have been around, for a city our size, it's about as high as you can get. It's one of the highest you can. And once you go into the upper levels, it's bigger organizations and more horsepower behind them. So that was darn good. Amphitheater and actually on Thursday we got the amphitheater bids coming in, and also any bids for the house, for the old Winnipeg house. So we'll see where we are on that. And then a nice one, they're not as visible maybe as you think, but actually so far this year we already actually have 36 housing units permitted.
Wow.
And so it's a mix of single-family, multifamily, and even the Monmouth Estates Parks can add a few more manufactured homes. So. Yeah, so we're not doing too bad in that area either. And that does it.
Thank you. Hang on just a sec. Okay, so I'm going to skip citizen comments because there's nobody here tonight with this short agenda and turn immediately to the business agenda. And we have 2 second readings tonight. The first one is Western's smoking regulations ordinance. And I will begin by reading that by title, if I can find the proper page. And the title is an ordinance establishing regulations related to smoking and chewing tobacco in public areas within or adjacent to Western Oregon University. Are there any questions for staff on this item? And hearing none, and having read that by title, I would entertain a motion.
Move second reading and adoption of an ordinance establishing regulations relating to smoking and tobacco use in public areas within and adjacent to Western Oregon University.
And this would be ordinance number 1360.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Okay.
Moved and seconded, so ordinance number 1360. And if there's no further discussion, hearing none, Phyllis?
Counselor Silbernagel.
Aye.
Counselor Milligan.
Aye.
Counselor Johnson.
Aye.
Counselor Guthrie.
Aye.
Counselor Carey.
And we will adopt
Aye.
that ordinance.
And this ordinance will be effective 30 days from today, which will be the 17th, which is one day after the campus no smoking policy. So we're almost aligned, but close enough.
So
Okay.
it will be chaos for one day.
There chaos for one, you can smoke on Monmouth Avenue for one day.
Smoke out. The great Monmouth Avenue smoke out.
That's right.
Get your last butt done.
So with that, we will turn to the second item on the business agenda, and this would be ordinance number 1361. And then again, a second reading by title, an ordinance amending Monmouth City Code, section 8.05.030, relating to the regulation of smoking. And this, as a reminder, is basically adding vaping devices to the list of things that we can prohibit from our parks for events and otherwise. So there we go. Are there any questions or discussion for this on this one with staff? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion.
I move the second reading and the approval of the ordinance amending Monmouth City Code relating to the regulation of smoking.
And the second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. And Phyllis?
What number is that?
That's
Counselor,
1361.
Counselor Johnson.
Yes.
Counselor Carey.
Aye.
Counselor Milligan.
Aye.
Counselor Guthrie.
Aye.
Counselor Silbernagel.
Aye.
And with that, we will adopt ordinance number 1361. And what's the effective date on that one, Lane?
Same, 30 days.
Okay. Are there any council comments tonight? Yes.
Hey, I'd like to see on September, whatever date it is, for the next meeting, some of that stuff that you were gonna do on the police station, you know, what people had to, you know, it has to be an executive session supposedly because of the money involved and stuff.
No.
That's been like
That wouldn't
about a
be
month and a
executive.
half, 2 months. I'd like to see what's come of that. Because if we can do something with that, what my theory is then we don't have to charge the police station the whole $69,000 for the year for their budget to take care of it if we do some selling or if we do something else. Yeah, just like to see that come about so we get on a little faster.
Yeah, if I could help with timing, the last time we left this, it was do the presentation of the findings, then we were gonna bring up this discussion. It's totally your call. Do you wanna do like the first meeting in September, second meeting?
How's the next agenda looking?
It's light.
Okay.
Do it next time. Get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Very good. I'll do both buildings like we did last time.
Anybody else? Steve?
Yes, this weekend, I don't know how many of you wandered past campus and heard some marimbas and some other instruments playing.
Yeah, I saw that
This
and
was
wondered
the-
what was up.
This was the 23rd annual Zim Fest that was hosted by Western Oregon University. And they're looking for a new home. And so I spoke with Claire Jones, who was in charge of this year's event. And they were really impressed with the facilities that they had here compared to other places that they stayed, like Tacoma and Seattle and Eugene. They liked us. We were seemed more friendly and more housing friendly to them of different ranges of housing. They bring people from all over the world to this. So I was a little disappointed that there wasn't more advance notification of what
Right.
it was. And part of it was the person who organized it wasn't as experienced about publicizing as they
Right.
could have been. So I've got her phone number. I wanted to get with you and Mark.
That'd be great, because I think this comes back to some issues, just the
I mean,
the
this
back and
just
forth, because,
fits.
yeah, this thing should have been pushed out to the community heavily.
Yeah,
Right.
and this fits.
I found it randomly off of somebody else's Facebook post, and I ended up
Yeah.
going over and.
And it was fun. I went over to the concert on Sunday night, and they did something for the first time, which was have students play some of the stuff that they learned.
Okay.
And it was exciting to watch the energy
Right.
that night in the room. The thing that I think would be interesting is if they do it, if we can get them to do it here next year, the amphitheater will be in place.
Right.
And they can do a bigger outdoor event
Right.
in the city.
Yep.
The other is that the Arts and Culture Commission, this fits along with what they would be doing. And then one of the pieces out of the Engage is better communication with the university and the city. And
Mhm.
and actually what came out of the Engage was that it would be interesting to have better communication with the university and the university.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see where this piece could fit into helping us
Right.
move
That's
those
good
other
stuff.
pieces to actually coordinate better.
Good stuff.
And so,
Very good.
so I was excited when they said, we're looking for a home, and I said, well,
You found one?
I'd like to tell you this could be yours
Right,
if you're
that's
willing.
right. That's right.
And they were excited.
Okay,
So,
very good. No, I like that.
Marimba's
I had a, yeah.
There's other instruments. I've got some recordings I can.
I had a friend who was in a marimba band in Eugene, and the rule was that if you decided you needed to quit the group, you were not allowed to quit until you taught all of your parts to the new person who was going to take your place. So, people didn't quit very often. Anyway, no, that's very good to see. Thanks. Anybody else with anything?
Yeah, and we'll do it again, but I think kudos to just so many people on the whole senior center thing.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Yeah.
I mean, this started out, they've been selling, Pop-Tarts forever, and what was that thing, that pig that they were feeding the pig or
Right.
some such thing
That
for
was
a
the one
long
that
time?
Cease came up with. I
And,
think.
nickels and dimes, and they stepped up, the friends, other volunteers, certainly staff, the council and the budget committee, we invested some money into that, and so, it's just putting the shoulder to the wheel and getting stuff done, and we'll have an opportunity to say it again, but I don't know that it can be said enough, because there was a lot of
Yeah.
creative solutions that were necessitated by seeming roadblocks.
Right.
And we just kept getting by it. So, it is just good on everybody on that one. Finally, I would like to have us continue to review and consider whether or not any voluntary water conservation steps are appropriate. I'm confident that because we've done a nice job of building our well field, and I'm confident that we have ample sources. I'm equally confident that we're pulling from an aquifer that others do as well, and so, the replacement on those is questionable the way we look at the long-term forecasting, so. I think we ought to just, and maybe it's not an issue, and if it's not, then we can put that to bed and not worry about it, but I'd like to see a discussion of that
Okay.
be.
Yeah, it'll come back. We took a look at the Dallas ordinance, and
Yeah.
we'd like to get some other models, see what they look like, and then.
Yeah, no, I don't know that's an urgent deal, but it's
Yeah,
one of
we just
those-
want to do it, and then we dropped a Facebook post one day, just to, hey, you know, you can back off a little bit. And it was nice, one of the people said, oh yeah, I already backed off water in my yard.
And there is a need for a mayor's notes coming up, I think, right? Or is it?
The next one's gonna be the senior center.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
And that's gonna be a good one and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, but actually, on the backside, we could just drop in a.
I'm just wondering about a little note that says,
Little one.
or on electric bills, isn't there a place on the bill, the utility bill that you can put a short message like?
I don't know if the new system, if we, I don't know.
Okay, just
I've asked
have a
that
look,
question.
because that might be a place where more people
We'll,
will see it.
we'll see what we can do.
Okay, just we're okay, but it wouldn't hurt anything.
You know, a sort of a funny thing that occurred in Olympia, Washington, of all places, which has no issues with water. But they took on some voluntary conservation, and they really got after it, including, and I think it was an entrepreneur that provided these, but little signs that went into yards that were drying out, says, I'm not dead, I'm just sleeping.
Very good.
You know, so this is an intentional thing, I'm not being a
Right.
slacker in my yard.
So the Cottage Grove paper awards the yard of the week every week. Maybe we could start awarding the dead yard of the week award.
The sleepy yard.
Right.
Anyway, that's enough, I'm glad to hear we're going to be considering that.
Anybody over here? So I just wanted to pass along that Mayor McCardle and I are kind of chasing around in circles on the proposed upcoming joint council work session and what we're going to talk about. I did ask Scott to send emails out to you all. We've heard back from John so far, I think is all. But just any input that you could offer me of things that you are interested in talking about. I received from John their council goal 6, which is basically get along better with other governmental entities, especially Monmouth, and then a list of, an interesting list of things that they see as benchmarks to show that that is actually being accomplished. And John presented this to me as the things that his council is interested in talking about, and I spoke with one of his counselors, and we may see a different list eventually come out of things that they're more interested in talking about. So I don't know how that's all going to play out. I will just be keeping in touch with all of you and let me know how that evolves. There is a sort of a proposal on the table that we might consider a council liaison back and forth to each other's councils. And that's something that I think has some real merit, and if anybody is interested in taking that on, I know that that would basically mean a council meeting every week for whoever did that, and I would therefore propose that it be a shorter term assignment on a rotating basis amongst councilors, you know, so do it for a quarter and then somebody else could take it after that, or do it for, you know, 2 meetings over the course of a month, whatever. We can talk about that going forward. Just think about those things for me and help me work forward on this. I believe that, you know, we do need to work on some closer ties, so I'm in favor of trying to pursue this. We just have to see how it all shakes out. Yeah, John.
You know, I think while an agenda certainly needs to be put together, but you know, I think we need to heed the advice of our city attorney and say we don't want to be doing probably too much stuff because we're sort of skirting the issue
absolutely.
of decision-making
Yeah.
on that. So it's largely ceremonial.
Yeah, it is.
And it's, but there are some substantive issues certainly that can be
Yes.
discussed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we ought to look at it as a ceremonial of first step in better relations and all that, and you know, have some beer afterwards or whatever. I don't know.
Well, you know, an alternative proposal that I've thought of is having counselors get together in 2s and 4s and just have a social opportunity to chat and sort of semi-formally, you know, say, okay, Steve and John, you two are going to go meet with Nancy and Marilyn sometime next 2 weeks, you know, something like that.
Sure. There's a
Just have
variety of
chance
ways.
to talk.
This
Yeah, there's
is
a
good
lot of
way
ways to
start.
get at it, but I think we need to, you know, just kind of see what we can do, play fair, play nice, be open and transparent with what we're doing and trying to come up with topics to talk about. That's my goal, is I want this to be, you know, as I said to Mayor McCardle, it's our councils that are interested in doing this. We ought to give them a real leadership role in what we're going to talk about. So that's kind of the direction I'm trying to go. And Royal, I saw your hand go up.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to go with John, and you know, it isn't just Monmouth community on the senior citizens, because I've been involved in that too. It's the whole county almost.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people from Independence that belong to Monmouth.
That's about
senior
30%
Yeah.
membership from Independence.
Independence and then plus the county. So
Right.
it's not, you know, you gotta look at everybody's really
Sure.
supported hard.
Yeah.
And when they built it, I was really supporting it hard when it was built, and we put a lot of money into it, and I just hope we keep on going, because it is really a keystone.
No, it's a
for the-
huge
for the
resource in the
community.
community. I agree. Very good, Rob. And Scott, I'll take this opportunity, I was gonna ask privately later, but if you can get me contact information on the funding agencies, just somebody to drop a little note to say, you know, give me a name of a warm body to address to say thank you for supporting our efforts on this one. I just think
Good idea.
that would be one of those, it's one of those things that I don't do as much or as well as I should. So I wanna try to make sure on this one to be sure to thank the folks who helped us out.
Yeah, we might want another one down the road.
No, we just might. So, are there any other council comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Missed it.
7:23.
This